What if you could just log into a single platform and check a box that said, "Get it done," and the system handled everything you needed? Imagine you could access every government service in a single app on your phone. No more long wait times for paperwork or services. You can complete government transactions from anywhere in the world. You receive proactive recommendations for jobs, benefits, and educational opportunities. You receive instant diagnoses from doctors and seamless prescriptions across healthcare providers. You spend less time stuck in traffic and don't have to worry about safety on the roads. You are given fully transparent access to how politicians make decisions, how they spend your hard-earned tax dollars, and how their campaigns are financed. You are even included in the decision-making process. This isn't science fiction. It's digital government. And while it has taken longer than many expected, we are beginning to see what a better future could look like. Digital government is not a new concept. Governments have been experimenting with digitization since the 1990s. But despite decades of potential and promises, we are here, in 2025, still talking about the shift to digital government. I've mentioned several times already in previous videos how democracy is struggling. People don't trust the government, they believe politicians aren't accountable for their decisions, they are frustrated with a perceived lack of responsiveness, and they don't want higher taxes, especially if they don't feel they are receiving adequate benefits in return. And yet, the ideal of digital government offers direct pathways to restore trust, increase accountability, dramatically reduce costs, and ultimately, improve the lives of citizens. In this upcoming series of videos, I will showcase reasons for optimism. There are many examples of impressive political innovations happening right now around the world. I find them inspiring, and my hope is that you do too. As citizens, if we know what's possible, maybe we can do a better job of demanding more from our governments. Let's start in Estonia. The small Baltic nation has just 1.4 million people, but it has become the gold standard for digital government. According to the United Nations 2024 e-government report, Estonia ranks second in the world in terms of digital government development. Technology has improved the lives of Estonian citizens so dramatically that by the end of this video, you might just want to move to Estonia. But as you'll see, you can become an e-citizen of Estonia from the comfort of your home anywhere in the world. Estonia is a relatively small country, slightly smaller than the Los Angeles metropolitan area and about half the size of England. It sits at the northern tip of continental Europe, nestled between Russia, Latvia, and across the Baltic Sea, Finland, and Sweden. For over 600 years, Estonia was ruled by foreign powers, including Denmark, Sweden, Poland, Lithuania, and Russia. But in the 19th century, an Estonian national identity began to emerge, leading to their Declaration of Independence in 1918. In August 1940, Estonia was annexed by the Soviet Union. Under Soviet rule, repression was swift and brutal. Officials arrested the country's elite, and on June 14, 1941, around 11,000 Estonians were deported to remote regions of Russia. Meanwhile, Soviet forces conscripted 34,000 young Estonian men into the Red Army. Tragically, less than 30% would survive the war. By the end of World War II, Estonia had lost a staggering 25% of its population through death, deportation, and forced evacuations. Determined to resist, many Estonians joined the Forest Brothers, a guerrilla movement fighting Soviet occupation. The crackdown was ruthless. In March 1949, another 20,000 Estonians were deported to Siberian labor camps. At the same time, the Soviet Union resettled large numbers of ethnic Russians and other Soviet citizens in Estonia, deliberately shifting the country's demographics. As a result, Estonia's native population dropped from 97% in 1945 to just 62% by 1989. Hope for freedom reignited in 1987 with Perestroika, a Soviet reform movement that allowed for renewed political activism. This sparked the Singing Revolution, a peaceful but powerful push for independence. On August 23, 1989, nearly 2 million people across Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania formed the Baltic Way, a human chain stretching all three nations, demanding sovereignty. Momentum built, and in March 1991, Estonians overwhelmingly voted for full independence in a referendum. The new Estonian government faced a difficult challenge, as the Soviet withdrawal left Estonia without a functioning legal system, little in the way of infrastructure, and no public administration. But out of this chaos, Estonia had the opportunity to envision what the future might look like and try to build a new government for the 21st century. In some ways, the timing of Estonia's independence was fortunate because it closely coincided with the rise of many of the digital technologies that would go on to define economies and lives ever since. They had the luxury to build a new government from scratch without having to update outdated infrastructure or entrenched ways of doing things. Today, almost every public service is available online. The only government services that still require a face-to-face interaction are buying and selling real estate, getting married, or getting divorced. 95% of Estonians file their taxes online without the need for accountants or tax software, often in less than 5 minutes, and they've been doing so since 2001. Estonia has held elections online since 2005. In 2023, 51% of voters cast their ballots online, and citizens can vote from anywhere in the world securely and efficiently. Since 2007, Estonians have had a nationwide electronic health record system that allows people to get prescriptions without visiting a doctor. It also allows doctors to access medical histories and consult with one another quickly, and frees up doctors' offices and hospitals for more urgent health emergencies, all at half the cost per capita of healthcare in the United States. Their income tax system is the most cost-effective in the OECD, which has allowed Estonia to reduce personal income taxes across several consecutive governments. The country has the lowest debt burden of any country in the European Union, at just 19% of GDP. Since 2002, every Estonian citizen gets a secure, government-issued ID that is accepted and legally binding in Estonia and across the European Union. Agreements with telecom providers allow Estonians to get a special SIM card that lets them use their phone as their digital ID. Once a user identifies themselves, they can access a single platform that seamlessly gives them access to every single service or administrative task they would ever need from the government. But the Estonian government's objective isn't only to make the delivery of government services more efficient. It is to make Estonia a more attractive place to do business because of their cutting-edge digital capabilities. The government has made this authentication available to the private sector, meaning that businesses of all kinds do not need to reinvent user authentication every time. The same digital ID can be used to access bank accounts, retail loyalty programs, and utility providers. Businesses don't need to spend money or time traveling to meetings to make deals or hire new employees because contracts can be negotiated and signed digitally. According to Siim Sikkut, the former chief information officer of the Estonian government, Estonia gets at least 2% of GDP worth of efficiency gains because of digital signatures alone. What makes Estonia's system work so seamlessly is its interoperability framework called X-Road. The X-Road technology acts as a data exchange that connects the various databases and systems across the platform. Because it is a framework that sits on top of other systems, it makes the entire system resilient against hackers and other disruptions. If one area of the system is compromised, X-Road can continue to function across all the other platforms involved in government services. This behind-the-scenes digital infrastructure ensures that government databases talk to each other securely, eliminating the need for citizens to provide the same information twice. They call it the once-only principle, and it is actually the law in Estonia. If a citizen has ever provided specific information to the government before, say their birth date or place of employment, no other government department is legally allowed to ask you for that information again. Estonia was the first country to use blockchain technology, and has used their own proprietary blockchain since 2007 called the KSI blockchain, which is now also used by NATO and the US Department of Defense. Instead of storing actual data, KSI blockchain creates unique fingerprints called cryptographic hashes for government records. These fingerprints are stored in the blockchain and cannot be changed or faked. If someone tries to tamper with a document, the system immediately detects the change. No one, inside or outside the government, can secretly alter official records like medical files, business registries, or tax information. And since only fingerprints, not the actual data, are stored, sensitive information remains private and secure. Estonian citizens own their data and can see every data point the government has access to at any time. Estonia has also pioneered the concept of a data embassy, which extends the government's digital infrastructure beyond its borders by storing critical data in secure cloud servers located abroad. Unlike traditional government systems that keep all data within national boundaries, Estonia ensures its most essential digital services can continue running even in the face of cyber attacks or national crises. Perhaps most interesting of all, is that Estonia was the first country in the world to offer e-Residency. This allows anyone in the world to become an e-citizen of Estonia and have access to their digital services. Estonia's e-Residency program allows non-Estonians to register and manage an EU-based company remotely without needing to live in or visit Estonia at all. This is ideal for freelancers, startups, and digital entrepreneurs who want a hassle-free way to operate internationally. It gives businesses a legal presence in the European Union, making it easier to operate within the EU's regulatory framework, open international bank accounts, and attract European customers or investors. Estonia offers a 0% corporate tax on reinvested profits. And as mentioned earlier, e-residents can sign documents, manage banking, declare taxes, and conduct business 100% online using Estonia's advanced digital infrastructure. In today's economy, countries already compete to attract investment and talent. Estonia is betting that their digital capabilities make doing business more cost-efficient and seamless for entrepreneurs, and it's already growing their economy. More people become e-citizens to Estonia every day than babies are born in the country. This country-as-a-service model is the first of its kind, and countries like Sweden and Mexico have already adopted the X-Road technology in an attempt to replicate Estonia's success. Estonia's remarkable rise from the chaos of post-Soviet independence to the world's most digital society offers some valuable lessons for governments looking to do the same. Firstly, a successful digital transformation requires political leadership and the willingness to invest and experiment. The culture in many large governments is one of hierarchy, risk aversion, and lack of trust. Cultural change takes time, but it also takes leadership and deliberate focus. Secondly, governments must put in the hard work up front to reinvent and redesign legacy technologies and antiquated practices in order to implement the right architecture and infrastructure to make digital government services flexible, secure, and efficient. Nobody wants 50 different websites and platforms, no matter how modern each of them may be, when one single point of contact is possible. While other challenges remain, like updating legal and regulatory frameworks, the main challenge preventing countries like the US or Canada from seeing similar success to Estonia's is a lack of political will and a paralyzing fear of abandoning the status quo. And that's where we come in. As democratic citizens, if we know there are better options out there, it is up to us to agitate for change and let our priorities be known. It is with that in mind that we'll continue this series. In the next video, we'll take a look at how Singapore is leveraging artificial intelligence, fifth-generation wireless technology, and more to create the world's first smart nation. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to Politics Reimagined to join us on this journey of exploration and innovation. Together, let's turn the failures of today into the solutions of tomorrow.